Today, we're going to go over the 2023 lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazard addendum. This is, as you should know from your pre-licensing class, applicable to any listing that is the structure was built prior to 1978. So as we scroll through it, the top, as you can see, the top is where you list the property, typically the property address, seller, and buyer once it gets under contract. This addendum, so it is an addition to the contract. During the due diligence period, the buyer can have their own risk assessment done as part of the due diligence process. And that is just having an assessment, typically from an abatement company, that will tell if there are lead paint or lead-based paint hazards in the home. The warning box here that is outlined tells of the risk of lead paint or lead-based paint, as it should say. It was outlawed in 1978. However, there has been evidence of lead-based paint being sold after that deadline. So lead paint is also a poison. It is dangerous to small children, pregnant women. You don't want to get it on your hands. You don't want to get it friable, gets in the air, can get in your lungs as well. So those risks need to be assessed by a licensed professional, typically a lead-based paint abatement company. So as we go down to the signature portion, this is where the seller works. Okay, this is the seller's area. You see the boxes for the seller's initials. Now, item A says the presence of lead paint, lead-based paint, or lead-based paint hazards. Check below. Does the seller know of any lead paint hazards? How are they going to know that? Typically, they're going to know that because they have a report. All right, so does the seller know about it? Check this box. Do they not know about it? You check this box. Item B said reports and reports available to the seller. If they've had work done, abatement work done, where there has been maybe lead paint removed from the property, they would check this box. If they have no reports, they would check the bottom box. Make sure the seller's initial under seller's disclosure. The seller's, okay? You go down to the buyer's acknowledgement initials. So the sellers would not initial down here. This is for the buyers. Item C says that the buyer acknowledges receipt of the seller's statement and copies of any reports if applicable. Item D said the buyer has received the pamphlet Protect Your Home from Lead in Your Home provided by the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. Item E says the buyer will conduct a risk assessment during the due diligence process. Or skip on over to page 2. The very top item says, gives you a checkbox where the buyer can waive that opportunity to conduct a risk assessment. Both buyers and sellers have to initial at the bottom of page 1. Now, top of page 2, to listing agents, make sure, this is the one item I see missed most of all. Listing agents, make sure you initial this box. It says agent has informed the seller of the seller's obligations under 42 U.S. statute code 4852D and is aware of his or her responsibilities to ensure compliance. All right, that's pretty much it for the lead-based paint addendum. One thing I do want to show you down in the signature boxes, of course, you have your buyers on your left, your sellers on your right. If either one of them is an entity, meaning an LLC or an S Corp, you put the entity name in the box here or here and have the person responsible sign here or here. Also, this form is unique. The listing agent, the selling agent, excuse me, buyer's agent signs at the bottom left. Listing agent signs at the bottom right. Okay, make sure you are signing those boxes.